Hello, so welcome back to my channel. In this video I'll discuss about the for loops and with some examples. So yesterday we have discussed about the inbuilt method of string, and one of the important interview question, what is the difference between equals to operator and dot equals method. So I'll create a new class and start with the for loop concept. So in Java programming, for loops are used to execute a set of instructions repeatedly until the some condition are met. So in Java there are basically three types of loops: for loop, while loop, and do while loop. But in this lecture we'll learn about for loops and how to use the for loop in Java. So I'll start with the syntax of the for loop. For loop is one of the most commonly used loops in Java programming. So for then we have to give parenthesis, then there is an initialization part. It is mainly divided into three parts: initialization, then semicolon, then we have to give condition. This is the boolean expression, and after that we have to give increment, or we can give decrement. After that we have to give a curly braces. So we have in curly braces we can write a block of code that we want to execute as a for loop. So here later I'll give a body. I'll comment out this syntax. So I've commented out the syntax. So let's see how the for loop works. So this is the syntax we know. Suppose we want to print a value from 1 to 5. So print value from 1 to, so let's say 50, 1 to 50. So we want to include 1 and we want to include 50 as well in the program. So we want to print 1, 2, 3, 4 until it reaches the value 50. So it's a repetitive work, right? It has to print 1, then increment by 1, 2, then again increment by 1, then 3, 4, and it is incrementing the value by 1, and the iteration will continue until it reaches the value 50. So this is what we have to write in for loop. So how we can write? For, so initialization part is right. I want to start my for loop from 1. So I'll give initialization I equals to 1. Then value until I reaches 50, because I am incrementing the value of 1 until the value reaches 15. So here I have to give a condition I less than equals to 50. We will explain this with the help of the flowchart, then it will be more clear. Then I want to increment the value of 1 by I by 1, means first time it will print 1, then 2, then plus 1 3, then plus 1 4, then plus 1 5, until this condition is reached, means equals to 50. I can write I plus plus. If I write I plus plus in Java, means then by default it will increment the value by 1, and if I write I minus minus, by default it will decrement the value by 1. So I have to give the curly braces, and here I'll print the value I. Suppose if I want to start the value from 0 to 50, I have to initialize 0 to 50. If I want to print the value 1 to 100, then I have to check every time the value of 1 I it reaches 100 or not. It has reached 100 or not. So let's see this example with the flowchart, then it will be clear. So this is the flowchart. So the first thing is the initialization, where we have initialized the value I equals to 0. Means we have to initialize or set a variable before the loop start. And in the for loop, this initialization happens first and only one time. We have this initialization happen first only before this, and it happens only once. After that, we'll continue with this 2 and the body part. So it will start from 1, then it will check the condition. If the condition is satisfied, means is true, the boolean expression is true, I is 0. So 0 is less than equals to 100. Yeah, is true. So it will print the value. It will print the value. What is the value of I? Its value is 0. So it will print the 0. Then it will increment the operator I by 1. Then value of I was 0. Now it will become 1. So again it will check for the condition. If 1 is less than equals to 100 or not. If true, then it will print a value. So this is my for loop. So my initialization part is I equals to 0. So it will come here in the condition part. So it will check my I equals to 0 or less than equals to 100 or not. So it's true. If it's true, then it will print the body part. This body. So what is the body of print the I value? It is 0. So it will come here. It will update the increment. It will increment the I by 1. So now my I became 1. So again it will true. It will come here. It will this condition, this loop is evaluate in each iteration. So it will keep on iterating, and each condition, in each iteration, this condition in this loop is evaluated with the new updated value of the I. If the condition is true, then the statement inside this for loop will be printed. If not, then it will exit from the for loop. So when it will become false, when it become 100, so 100 less than equals to 100, yes, true, it will print value. Now the 100 will become I of, now I was 100, it will become 101. So it will come here, and now the value of 100, it will check for the condition. 100 is less than equals to 100, no, false, because 101 is greater than 100. So it will exit from this for loop. So after every execution of this for loop body, the increment part happens, this one, and it execute the for loop, it evaluate this condition with the updated value. So in this example, we want to print 1 2 3 4 5 till 100. This means in every loop it will increment by 1. So we have given I plus plus. So while loop, each time it also check this preceding condition is satisfied or not. So 1 is less than 100, it goes inside. So it will, when the value of I reaches the 100 or reaches the 101, then it will terminate the loops, and it will print the value, it will come out of this for loop. So we'll check how this is behaving, because we want to print the value 1 to 100. We'll see how it is behaving. See, it started from 0 and it printed till 100. What happened if we remove this equals to? So when it will become 100, I becomes 100. So 100 is less than equals to 100? No, it equals to 100. So it will not print. It will come outside. So it will print till 99. We'll see. See, it's printed till 99. So this is the simple for loop example, but this is the commonly used for loops in Java programming, and in most of the time we have to use for loop. So we'll create a different class and we'll see what we can do with the for loop. So we wanted to how we can utilize this for loop in string reversing. So string reversing is one of the most important question in the Java interview question. So I'll define the string So I've defined a string. We have learned in the inbuilt method of a string, like the indexing thing, that everything is stored in the index and indexing is start from 0. And in reversing, if you want to reverse a string, like we want to print h then t then I, it will start from last and it will continue till j. So what we have to do, we have to get the index value of h, because this is not a number we can give, or like we have given in the in number thing. So this is a string. We have to know the what is the index value of this h1. So how we can get the index value? We know there is an inbuilt method uh, to get the length. So to know the index of the last one, we have to do -1, because the length always start from 1 and index always start from 0. So if we take the length, string dot length, it will give the length of the string. We'll do -1 and it will be the index value of this h1. So I'll store in variable j. I'll print this value and see the index of j. So 8. Let's see. 1 2 0 1 2 3 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So index of h is 8. So it has given the right answer. So what I'll do a for loop. For loop first pass initialization. So from where I have to start? As I'm doing this reverse, I have to start from end of the string. So what is the end of a string? Int I equals to j, because j is a variable where we have stored the index of this one, last character. It will continue till the index 1 until the I became less than equals to 0. Then I have to go backward. So here I'm not going from j to h, I'm going h to j. So I'm going backward direction. I have to decrement the value by 1. I'll give the curly braces. I'll come here. What I want to print? I want to print the character as string. I is the index, right? So here what I have to print? Character at that index. So s dot, how I can get the index? Str dot character at index I. So the reason why I have written str.character I, because this is the I variable where I have initialized j is the index of h, and the I less than equals to 0 is the index of this one j, and I minus minus. And when I'll say print the value of I, it will print the index number, but we want to get the index at that particular character at that particular index. So how we get the character at that particular index? Yesterday in built-in method of string we have learned this character dot I will give the index at give the character at that particular index. So we'll print the value, we'll check, we'll run the program and we'll check. Sorry, I have given this one. I'll see. This one I'll comment out and we'll see. No need of printing the length. So started from H, then T, then I. If I print in the same line, then it will be more. I'll remove the ln and I'll run again. See, H, T, I, M, N, O, H, J. It printed the value. So it started from J. J means it started from H, and it will verify if J means index of J is greater than equals to 0 or not. So index of J is 8, right? We printed the value, so it's greater than 0, so it will execute this body. It execute means character at 8a. What is the character of 8a? Is H. Then it will decrement the value. Now the index will come here in T. What is the index of T? Now it becomes 7. So it will check if 7 is greater than 0 or not. So it's greater than 0. So it will print the value of I and check str the character at 7. So 7 it's T. So it printed the T. So it will continue. When it will come to 0, J is 0. So 0 is less than equals to 0. Yes, it's correct. So it will come here. It will get the character at the index 0. It's J. So it last at print J. So if I remove the equals to 0, it will print till O. See. So if we want to, as this is a string and we are calculating, we are getting the value based on index, so we have to give this equals to 0, and as 0 is the first index of this string. So this is how we do the reverse in the string. And we have nested loop also. Nested loop means a for loop inside a for loop is called nested loop. So I'll write, then we'll explain. For I'll initialize its value I equals to 1, I less than equals to 5, I plus plus. I'll give a for loop, curly braces. In for loop, inside a for loop, I have another for loop. So here I will int j equals to 1 to 5. I'll print star, and so how the nested for loop means, for we have for loop inside a for loop. We can have multiple for loops. So what happens in case of this nested for loop, when it will start with the outer for loop, this is outer for loop and this is the inner for loop. So it will start with the first outer for loop. When it will come to I equals to 1, it will come here. So I is less than equals to 5, yeah is true. When the moment it becomes true, it will come to the inner for loop. So before printing the inner for loop, it will print this value and it will come to the inner for loop. The inner for loop, now it will initialize the value equals j equals to 1. J equals to 1, it will check for the condition. If j is less than equals to 5, j is less than 5, 1 is less than 5, it will print star. It will again update the value j as 2. It will check the value 2 is less than 5, it will print this value. So it will complete the inner loop, then again it will go to the outer loop. So it will again, the I became 2, so 2 is less than 5, it will print this value. Again it will come to the for loop and it will print till 5, and again it will come here. So in case of this nested loop, what will happen, it will come to the outer loop, it will execute this body one time, and will come to the inner loop and it will execute the full inner for loop, and again it will go to the outer loop. So it will continue like this. So this for loop will be executed fully, then again it will go to this for loop. So this is how this nested loop behaves. So we'll run and we'll check. So what we are expecting here, it will print dollar, then it will print this 5 time, because we have started 1 to 5 time, then it will go over here, then it will print this 2 times, then it will print 5 times. We'll see. I'll remove this one, then it will be easy to understand. ln, when we enter the ln in the print ln, it will execute the value in the next line, otherwise all the value will be printed in the single line. So if printed the value star, then it printed star 5 times, then again percentage, it went to the for loop, then again it came to this inner for loop, and it complete the inner for loop 5 times. So it executed 5 times. Again outer for loop, it will execute the 5 times, but in between it will complete the inner for loops completely, then it will move to the outer for loop. So this is how the nested for loops behave. So that's all for today, and we'll meet in the next lecture. We'll continue with the for loops, other different types of do while loop and while loops. So thank you.